thought I thought I would do a little bit of a video to just kind of help you out with your EOCs next week. Sort of last ditch thing to make you not freak out about the whoa, there the sound came again. Not freak out about the test so much, and just kind of lay out what they are. So first of all, what is an EOC? Well, EOC stands for End of Course Test, and these are state tests that are supposed to determine your knowledge in a specific subject. They do a decent job of it. They're not perfect. And once you take the test, your score will fall into one of four rankings. You will either be advanced, proficient, basic, or below basic. And the state sets what are called cut scores for that, and they decide which scores mean which ranking. We have no control over that, but that's just part of it. For you, your score on these tests will be 25% of the grade in the class. So if you take an English 1 EOC and make a 90 on it, then a 90 is averaged in as 25% of your grade. The rest of the course will be the 75%, and that's just a state law. Furthermore, our school and the teacher of your class are deemed successful or unsuccessful based on the percentage of students who fall into the advanced and proficient ranks. So they look at those together. For example, I think it was last year we had 88% of students in English 1 who were either deemed advanced or proficient. So that looked really good. And that was really good. It indicated you guys knew your stuff. There's also a gross score. Each of you has a predicted score generated by the state. So the state uses some magical formula to predict how well you're going to do on this. And based on, like, they'll take a whole class of students, look at the predicted scores, look at the actual scores, and if the actual scores are equal to or above the predicted scores, then we have a positive growth rate. If you look at TNVA, who is getting shut down this year, one of the reasons that they're getting shut down is their gross scores were at least I think 2 standard deviations below the actual score, which is quite a few points, and that's why they were ranked at a level 1. We've been ranked level 3 since we've been open, which means we've been either right out there or not right at it, and in some cases above it. So anyway, that's all political mumbo jumbo, but that's what they do with the scores. So that is a lot of responsibility, but it's nothing to worry about. All we want from you is just to do your best. We feel like we have prepared those of you who have taken our preparation. We've prepared you to do well in these, because we don't focus on these tests, we focus on learning. But if we're asking you to do your best, then we need to tell you how to do your best. First of all, get a good night's sleep before. I mean, that's not hard to do. If your test starts at 9 o'clock the next day, which they all do, you should go to bed probably at 9 and wake up at 7. Get plenty of sleep. Teenagers require about 10 hours of sleep a night. Very few get it, but that's what you require. Your bodies are going through all of these changes. Your bones are growing. You've got hormones coursing through your veins, and your body needs a good night's sleep to make sense of all that. And you should probably be getting a good night's sleep up until the test, not just the night before, like a couple of days. And every night, really. Eat a good breakfast. And by a good breakfast, I mean a well-balanced breakfast. Make sure you have some protein. You don't need to have too many carbs. If you have carbs, you need to have protein to balance it out. I think, honestly, the perfect breakfast is something like a sausage biscuit and some fruit and probably a cup of black coffee or milk. But if you drink juice, then you're probably going to get too many carbs in the form of sugar. But that's for you to figure out. But something like a sausage biscuit is well balanced between carbs and protein. You need to arrive in plenty of time to adjust your surroundings. You do not want to be late to your EOC and have to come rushing in. And, we kind of wait until everybody's there before we start. So if you rush in, you're not going to do your best because your mind is not going to be settled. So get there in plenty of time, and then don't just sit around there staring at everybody when you get there. Introduce yourself, make some friends. Just because you're in an online school doesn't mean I expect you to be an antisocial human being. Get there, see somebody that looks like you, say, hey, my name's Jody. I'm from Sweetwater, Tennessee, and I'd really like to get to know you. Something like that. You don't have to do that, but that'd make everybody more comfortable if everybody was talking and say, oh, dude, did you have Miss Dimma? Man, she was tough. You know, stuff like that. Build community among yourselves. But don't just get there and like stare at everybody real hateful. That seems to be what my Knoxville crew usually does. I'm sorry to call you out on it. The other thing is wear layers. You never know what the temperature is going to be. So if you're a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy, be a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy who has a jacket with him. Girls are good at this, guys not so much. It could be like freezing cold or it could be hot, and we don't have any control over the thermostat. Bring number 2 pencils. Don't get caught with number 3 or 4. That's just a joke. And bring a calculator, unless we are providing one for you. But don't forget that stuff. Have it all laid out the night before. That way you don't forget it. Stick it in Mom's minivan if that's what you're riding in. So what about the test? Everything else has to do with you and what you do. So what do you need to know about them? They're not timed. So you can take theoretically as long as you want. Now if you're going way too long, we might have you go to a separate room and finish it or something like that so we can get on with the next test. But they're not timed. So there's no reason to have any blanks. Next, they're all multiple choice. That means you have automatically a 25% chance to get it right. So that's another reason not to have any blanks, is just use your best educated guess. Also, the questions come directly from what you've been learning in the course. It should be perfectly aligned this year. They say it will be. I don't know. But there shouldn't be any surprises. There's nothing on here that you haven't seen before if you've been a responsible student. For kids with a bunch of absences that are, that type of student, there might be some surprises. I'm giving you a link here to EOC practice tests and samples, and you should have already done some of these in your courses. And for algebra people, Mr. Lamey breaks every single one of these practice tests down on his YouTube site, and I'm giving you a link to that. And you should just do the test and go through. I mean, you can learn, you can fill in a lot of gaps that way. Let me put it that way. So, finally, I just want you to do your best. Take all the time you need. Go back through the test questions. Be well rested. Be well nourished. And just remember what your responsibility is here. Forget all that 25%, your teacher's score, and how the school looks. Your responsibility at all times and everything is to do your absolute best at it. You have to be there anyway. You can't leave until the last person's done with their test, so you might as well just do a really good job on it. For those of you with test anxiety, that shouldn't come into play here. Test anxiety is for people who have a time limit. So just do your best. And the thing is, you don't want to close that test booklet and turn it in and then go home and feel like, man, I kind of let myself down today. You want to feel like, wow, I did the best I could today. And the scores will sort themselves out. If you do your best, the way we have you prepared, you're going to be great because your scores are going to be good. So you're going to have a good grade in your class. Our school's going to look good. Your teachers are going to look good, and everybody's happy. If you don't do your best, then it's just a crapshoot. You're kind of having to rely on other people to do the best that they can. But that's all I got to say about it. Good luck next week. I look forward to seeing my Knoxville people. I'm on a pretty tight schedule in Knoxville, so if any parents or students need to meet with me after the test, please let me know ahead of time, because I have babysitters and that sort of thing to consider. So anyway, best of luck next week. Let me know if you have any questions, and just do your best.